Hey, what's good, people? This your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Listen, this is such a good time to be in the market. This is one of the most prolific bull markets that we've seen in a long time. The S&P index itself is up about 22% for the year, which means you can literally just put your money in this index and see a decent return. Now, with that being said, let's take a quick look at some of my best setups that I've been using in the market. Like some of you already know, I've coined this setup the GDFX, which is pretty much the Good Vibes FX1 strategy. And the strategy is pretty much simple, where I utilize primary indicators and secondary indicators. And I will explain that on the chart in a little bit. Just combining these multiple indicators together and finding an agreement or an alignment between them would always increase your profitability. Now let's go to the chart and see how this setup plays out. So what's up, guys? This is your boy Cincy, and welcome to the charts. And so for the past couple of days, I have basically been buying any pair against the Swiss Franc. And pretty much I've been looking at this strategy, which I call the GDFX1, and I've been using it to consistently generate profits, just consistently buying against this Swiss franc, and you're going to see it in a little bit. And the strategy is pretty simple, and I'm going to show you guys on the chart and how do I use this strategy. And basically I come to my chart, and the first thing I always look at is my primary indicators. So I use two things. I use my primary indicators and my secondary indicators to identify when is a good time to actually enter these trades. So my primary indicators will typically go on the chart. So you can see, for example, here on this trade, we see a base sign and a green arrow pointing towards the upside. So the B sign represents buy, and this green arrow just simply means that this price is most likely going to be going to the upward side in the near future. And if I was to get like a S sign or a downward arrow, then that would be the vice versa, meaning that's a sell signal, and the price is most likely going to fall in the immediate future. So you can see on this day we got a sell signal. You can see how the price fell drastically, and we got a buy signal and a green arrow on this day, and you can see the price went up significantly. But again, before we get to that point, one thing I also tend to look at is my my price relatively to the baseline. So the red line and the green line, that is my baseline. So if my price is the candlestick, which is these green bars that you're seeing, and if this price is above the baseline, so this is going to be indicating a buy signal. Or if the price is below the baseline, so price in this case is below the baseline, so we know this is going to be indicating more of a sell. So now let's take a look at this particular trade that I took on this day, 25th June 2024. And you can see on this day, I see price above my baseline, and I see my primary indicators, which typically go on the chart, my B sign and my green arrow telling me this is most likely going to be a buy position if I do go into this trade, and the price is going to be going towards the upward direction. Now, the next thing I want to look at, if I zoom out, is my secondary indicators. So my secondary indicators are typically below the chart. So let me quickly collapse this for you so you can see these are my secondary indicators. And how does this work? The first one you're seeing here, this is the ATR. So we're not going to discuss the ATR, so focus on this first one, which is my one line cross. So if I zoom in on this one, my one line cross, so you can see, or what I call a zero line cross, is there is a zero line, which is the black line, and there is a signal line, which is the green line. Now, all you need to know is that whenever the signal line is above the zero line, then that is a buy. And whenever the signal line is below the zero line, then that is a sell. So you can see on the day of entry, which is this purple line, you can see that our signal line, which is the green line, was above this black line, which is our zero line. So that is indicating a buy. So that is the first confirmation that I get from one of my secondary indicators. So if I zoom back out and I take a look at the second one, so this is the second one. If I zoom back in on the second one, you can see that the second one is a little bit different from the first one. The second one is a two-line flow, so we're comparing two different lines. So in this case, the green line is the fast line and the red line is the slow line. So all you need to understand is that whenever the fast line or the green line is ahead of the red line, in this particular case, so you can see the green line is ahead of the red line or it's greater than the red line, then that is a buy. And if the red line is greater than the green line, then that is a sell. So you can see on the day of entry, which is the 25th of June 2024, the green line was ahead of the red line. So this is a buy. So we got a second confirmation from one of my secondary indicators. Now, the last one is the third indicator, which I typically use. Again, this indicator is there to just provide an extra cushion for the other two that I've already confirmed. So if you zoom back on it, you can see it's very similar to the last one because we're comparing two lines, but you can see that the design is a little bit different. And all you need to understand is that the fast line, again, which is the green line, whenever it's greater than the slow line, which is the red line, then that is a buy. And when the red line is greater than the green line, then that is the sell. So you can see on the day of entry, in fact, that was the day we got our first crossover from green to red, and this was definitely a buy signal on that day. So we now have three solid confirmations that aligns with what we saw on the primary indicator, which is the base sign and the green arrow. Then the last thing I typically look at is the oxygen, the engine of this trade, and that is my volume. And this is my volume indicator. And again, all you need to know is I have a cutoff line, which is this black line, and I have my signal line, which is the blue line. So whenever the blue line is above my cutoff line, which I have used over time, then this is telling me that volume is present in this pair. And whenever the signal line is below the black line or my cutoff line, and that is telling me that the volume is trying up. So I do not want to take that trade in this case. So you can see on the day or the day I took the trade, which is the 25th of June 2024, you can see the signal line is above the cutoff line. So this is in fact indicating that this is a buy. Sorry, this is that volume is actually present. So not a buy, that volume is actually present. So now what have we done? We've confirmed indicator 1, indicator 2, indicator 3, and the volume indicator that these guys are in fact ready. So if I was to collapse back the entire graph, you can see just from looking at this that everything on the primary indicator aligns with what is below the chart or the secondary indicator. And this is exactly why I took the trade on this day. And you can see I practically just tracked it after I took the trade. And if I was to bring in my ruler and measure from the day of my entry to the day that I got out from this trade, you can see that is about 102 pips. And again, I got out of this trade on this day, which was actually today, the 8th of July. That was the day I'm getting the red arrow. So you can see that red arrow right there. That is indicating a sell. So you can see I bought it on this day as an entry and I sold it on this day for over 102 pips. So if I was to look at other pairs that are against the CHF, kind of like the CAD CHF, you can see it's the similar trend. So this purple line, remember, is always my day of entry. So I got in on this day and I was able to track it and I sold it on this day when I'm getting the red arrow. So you can see Euro CHF, the same thing. I got in on this day and I was able to ride it all the way to this candle where I got the exit signal. Which one? Let's take a look at one more. GBP CHF. Again, you can see it got in on this day and you can see I was able to ride it all the way to this candle. So you can see again, that is just simply how I place these trades. It's very simple. It takes me nothing less than 5 minutes, and I've been using it for some time now, and it's been generating some good returns. Again, this is your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes. So there you have it on my chart, and that is basically how I normally find these setups on day-to-day basis. And this is just a setup that I love. My level of confidence on the setup is pretty high, and I love the return that I've been seeing this year. So now, one thing that I've also understood is that the AV traders that are watching my videos and watching my channel, they seem to be able to catch on with what I'm trying to explain. Now, for those who are fairly new to this, I understand that this might be new to you, but don't worry. I would try and continue to look for possible ways to make this as easy as possible to explain. Oh, by the way, before I go, I want you guys to take away one good lesson today. So for those of you who have been trading for some time, I know you understand what we call drawbacks. Drawbacks are what we call a time in the forex market where things just tend to pull back from your original price or from the price you originally bought it from. But what do you do in cases like this? You do absolutely nothing. So you can see, for me, for example, at some point this morning I was down $1,000, and when I saw it, I was like, okay, it's nothing, and sometimes this would tend to happen if there is a big news coming out. So do not forget to check some of your favorite news websites like the Forex Factory. That is one of my favorite websites that I used to check what kind of news is coming out on that day that could possibly affect any trade that you're taking. So like I said, 1 minute you're losing money, you do absolutely nothing, just fold your arms and go your own way. In fact, I've always said my trading strategy best works for people who have 9-to-5 jobs, because you're always going to be distracted and you don't actually have to look at your trade. So like I was saying, you're down $1,000 at one point, and before you know it, you recovered all that money and you're up $150. So again, do absolutely nothing in a situation where you experience drawbacks in the forex market. So far, you believe in your setup, and you believe that your setup is definitely going to take you to where you need to be, and you have a possible plan. But in the meantime, I'm also providing one-on-one coaching classes for anyone who is interested. So please do feel free to send me a DM or hit me on the email that you see on the screen, or leave a comment down below in this comment section. Again, thank you guys for watching my videos. It's nothing but God, good vibes, and good trades on this channel. Again, this is your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes, and let's make some small money together.